If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the roads and never end. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. In the heat from a hot California, I forgot how you looked like in rain. I swear I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good.
Good morning and welcome to today's stream. As always, today is called Coffee with Jason, and part of today's live stream will appear on my podcast, which goes out on a Monday. And if that's something that you're interested in, then please go and take a listen. It's at anchor.fm/Jason K. Kruger. And if you're on one of the other podcasting solutions out there, then just search for Coffee with Jason and hopefully I will come up on those as well. So as I'm going to be using this for my podcast, I'm just going to do that little introduction so I don't have to edit that out or edit that in later. And then I'm going to go into the content of today's stream. Hi and welcome to episode 4 of Coffee with Jason. Now, in today's show, I'm going to be going through what you need when you first go online. There's so many different things that you can look at, and there's so much other advice out there. And sometimes it can be very confusing of what you actually need to just get started online. So I wanted to go through that in today's show. So first of all, when you have decided to go online, what should you start off with? Yes, you can go and get the website and CRM systems and all of that, but before you even start with any of those things, for me, the first thing that you need to decide is what it is that you want to be found for online. Because that's going to take you down the journey of what domain name you should actually get for your business. Now, for me, I'm the brand, so I've gone with my name. So it's jasonkruger.com. And if that's what you're looking to do, then look to see if you can get your name for your domain name. But if it's not, and you're looking to maybe start a business with a business name rather than just you, then have a look to see if you can get that domain name first. And the reason I say get the domain name first is because that's going to start everything off. Because when you go online, that's where everything is going to reside. Your website, everything is going to be on that domain name. When you send out emails, you're going to be sending it from that domain name. So the first thing that you should really be looking at is what domain name you're going to use for your business. And sometimes I don't think people realize how important that can be, because you're going to be using it and start building a reputation using that domain. So it is an important part of starting your business, and it's something that you want to just take a bit of time and work out what it is that you want to use. But once you've got your domain name, and there are so many different places that you can go to search for your domain names. The one that I use is namecheap.com. They give you a whole lot of different variations as well when you're doing a domain search. So have a look at Namecheap if you are looking to buy a domain name. It's a service I use and that I use for clients as well. And it's a great service, and it's reasonably priced as well for domain names. But once you've got that domain name, what is the next step? Yes, website is one of them, but you also need email. And when you're starting your business online, I've seen a lot of people just using a normal Outlook address. So maybe your name at outlook.com or gmail.com. Then that's what they've been using for their business. And yes, you can go down that way, but for me, it doesn't portray a professional look to your business. But there are other limitations. If you are going to use a CRM system or autoresponder to start sending out marketing emails, building your list, you can't use one of those email accounts. You do need a proper domain to use for those systems. So that's why getting a domain name is one of the first things that you should do and get, because you will need it for these other services. So once you've got that, you need to check what email service. Now, when I say email service, I don't mean an autoresponder to build your list. This is the email system that you are going to use to communicate with clients, potentially have calendars and all that attached to it, depending on what service you go for. So that is, for me, going to be your second step, is what email service to use. And again, there are so many different ones out there. So which one should you choose? Well, the two main ones are your Office 365. So you can go down the Microsoft route, and when you get an Office 365, I think it's now called Microsoft 365 account, you do get Word, Excel, and all of those with that as well. So if that's what you need for your business, then go down that route. But if you want to be a bit more flexible, you could go the Google route, and that's called Google Workplace now. They keep rebranding in the last 6 months. They must have gone through at least 2 different names. So you can use Google Workplace. And again, both of them have the email services, and they have extra additions to it. So you do have Word, Excel with Microsoft. You have the Google versions with the Google Workplace. You also have the calendars, and the calendars is another important part of your business, because that's where you're going to put all your appointments in and manage your day. So going either of these routes would be my suggestion, rather than getting kind of bolt-ons from different places, especially because these are online. You can access them from any device wherever you are, so you're not then tied to always having to look on your laptop, your PC, etc. I use Google Workplace. I have done right from the beginning, and it's my preferred solution. So if that is something that you are looking at and you need help with that, then please get in contact with me. Leave a comment down below and I can see how I can help you with that. So now you've got your domain name, you've got your email service, so now you can send out emails. What's next? Well, there you've got kind of 2 options with this: website or CRM system. Now, I would probably go the website route, because you want to have an online presence, so that when people start Googling you and looking for more information, you've got somewhere to direct them to. Now, with a website, there again are so many different options you can go with. There's Squarespace, Wix, Weebly. There's all these services where you can subscribe to them and build your website using those services, or you can go down building your own website using WordPress, and there are subscription services, WordPress.com. You can go with them and build a WordPress website, but they do all the management for you. Or you can go and get a hosting account and build the website yourself. Now, which way you want to go depends on, one, how much time you have, because building a website does take some time, and also budget, because if you have got a budget and you just want someone else to do it for you, then you can hire a web designer, web developer to build that website for you. Now, again, depending on your budget, you might want to just go the do-it-myself route, and you can go with a service like Squarespace, Weebly, Wix, all those types of services where you are paying a subscription fee. They do give you templates to build out your website. My only word of caution using those services is when you want to start expanding your features and wanting to add other things to your website. And one of those is lead generation. And that is a very important part of getting online, is getting leads and start building your email list, which is going to be my next point. And using Squarespace and Wix and all that, and I have experience with this because clients, I have been with some of those services, and then they decide that they want to start adding lead generation, and it's not as easy as it should be, because a lot of these services have their own in-house services for email building, etc. And it's not the route that I would go down, because it means you're locked into those systems and they don't have the features that some of these other systems have. So when you are looking to build your website, you do need to bear in mind that when you are looking to add these extra things to your websites, these other services might not be able to do it, or if they can, one, it might not look good because you have to use code from the other CRM systems to put the forms and that on those websites, and a lot of the times it doesn't quite fit in with the design, or you use their inbuilt systems, which again won't have some of the features that you might need going forward. So yes, it might save you a bit of money right at the beginning, but it could cost you more going forward. And it's just a lot of these things that you need to take into consideration when you go online. And yes, I do know that budgets can be a restriction, so you need to have a look at those things. Now you can go the WordPress route and get hosting. Now the hosting provider that I recommend for people, especially when they're starting out, is SiteGround. Especially for like the first year, you can get a heavily discounted hosting package with them for one site, and it's probably going to be around $5 a month. And then you can go and install WordPress and build it out yourself. Now that might sound quite daunting to go out and build a website completely from scratch using WordPress, but it's not as difficult as people make it out to be. I actually did a video where I built a whole site from scratch using templates in under an hour. So if you are looking at something like that, then please have a look on my YouTube channel to find that video. And basically you pay your hosting, and then you install some free plugins that I go through in that video. Free theme and a free page builder, which have the paid versions, which I use for all my client sites and for my personal sites as well. But when you're starting out, you can use the free versions. They have everything you're going to need to get started. They even have starter templates, so you can build out the structure of your website. And when you're starting out, you don't need a very fancy website. You don't need to have multiples and multiples of pages. You basically need your home page, an about page, maybe a blog page if you're going to start creating content, a services or product page, and a contact us page. Those are basically the only 5 pages that you're really going to need on your website. You will need privacy policy, terms and conditions, all of that as well. But your main pages that you will need for your website are going to be those 5. Now you can create that very quickly within WordPress using the theme and the page builder that I recommend, which is the Astra theme, and the page builder is the Beaver Builder theme. And you can get these for free through the WordPress repository when you install WordPress. It's all drag and drop, so you can then start moving things around and adding your own content, images, etc. to it. And as I said, they give you starter templates as well, where you can just install those, and all of a sudden you've already got a fully designed website. All you need to go in there is maybe change the colors, the images, and the content, but the whole structure is already there. If you don't like it, you can always move things around and build it yourself. Yes, it might take a little bit of extra time, but then it's more personal, and then you can add in the lead generation a lot easier than using Squarespace, Wix, etc. And that's the way that I would probably recommend someone starting out to do, because you're already using templates from Squarespace to build your website. May as well just do that on WordPress, and then you can scale that going forward. And again, if you are interested in looking at that video, then please go to my YouTube channel to find that. And I also have a free membership site where I post all my videos, and it's all properly searchable, so you can actually search within the videos within that platform, and you'll be able to find all that other content as well to help you get online. And if that is something that interests you, then please join the free membership at jasonkruger.com/free, and you'll be able to go in there and find out the information that you will require to build your website which CRM systems to use, how to set all of those up. That's all in that as well. So the next thing that you're going to need when you go online is going to be a CRM or autoresponder system. And the reason I say you need this as well, because you do not want to be using an Excel spreadsheet to start keeping tabs of all your clients and prospects. It just becomes unmanageable. It's not scalable. So by using an autoresponder system, you can put all that information in there. You can also then use that to automate a lot of the behind the scenes emails and tasks, etc., and send out your marketing emails. Now, the system that I recommend is ActiveCampaign. And the reason I recommend that over a system like MailChimp, for instance, is because of the interface and the ease of use. ActiveCampaign looks like a proper CRM system, even on their light version, which is around $15 per month for 500 contacts. Now, when you're starting out, you might think, oh, $15 a month, and everything starts racking up. But you need a CRM system, which is $15 a month. You could get the site hosting for $5 a month. Your email system with Google Workplace, for instance, is going to be less than $5 a month as well. And your domain name, that might cost you $10. So for around $35, $40 a month, you can have a proper online business. And to be honest with you, that isn't that expensive. Yes, when you're starting out, it can rack up quite quickly. But if you try and budget that around $40 per month, you can have a really great system to get you started. Now, with that CRM system, ActiveCampaign, you can scale that up if you need more CRM features in the future. So you can get sales pipelines and all of that type of stuff in there as well. But you might not need that when you're first starting out. So their light package is going to be sufficient for you. You can add custom fields, tags, lists, all of that in there to help you know who's interested in the products, services that you provide. You can then set up email sequences to send out weekly, monthly emails. But more importantly, you can start setting up your lead generation on your website. And that is probably the most important part of building an online business, is starting to build your mailing list right from the start. You probably heard this hundreds of times where people say that the money is in the list. And that is really true, because yes, you can have your social media platforms, but with everything that's going on at the moment, and algorithm changes and Apple making other changes on their iPhones, etc., you might start building an audience and all that on Facebook, and then all of a sudden it just disappears. Then what do? Your email list is going to be your savior, because if you can get everyone onto your mailing list, that's something that you own, that's something that you can use. So building that email list right from the start is going to be one of the most important things that you can do when you're starting your online business. Now, I just did a video on this this week on building an email list using ActiveCampaign and how to do all of that. And if that is something that interests you, then please, again, have a look at my YouTube channel to find that video. And you can go to jasonkruger.com/YouTube, and that will take you directly to the channel where you can find that video. But building that email list is important, and ActiveCampaign, as I said, makes it a lot simpler to understand what's going on in your account. And as I said, I use this over MailChimp. You can get a free MailChimp account, but it doesn't have any of the automation features. It is a newsletter type system when you're using their free version, so people can join the list, but you can't automatically send out recurring emails. You have to manually go in there and send out your newsletter, and it's not a great system for lead generation because you can never really follow up with people with that type of system. Now you can upgrade MailChimp, but I still find their whole user interface very clunky, so that's why I recommend ActiveCampaign, because it's just so much easier to use and understand. Now, depending on what type of business you're taking online, the next thing that you might need, and this is not going to be for everyone, is a booking system. So a calendar booking system. If you are asking people to book an appointment with you, rather than going back and forth trying to find when you're free, you could just send them a link to your calendar booking system, and they can then choose the time that suits them, and then that automatically gets put into your system. Now, again, the system that I recommend to clients is Calendly. They do have a free version, which will be sufficient for most people, and you can then connect it up to your calendar like Google Calendar. So it will then check to see when you are available so that you don't get double booked. You can set this all up within Calendly, so you can set up the length of appointments, how many minutes between appointments that you will allow, etc. So you can do all of that within Calendly. So if it is something that you are looking to do and you're going to need in your business, then I would definitely recommend using a system like Calendly. So you have kind of start building out the systems, and you've probably been told you need to get on social media. Yes, social media is a big part of having an online business. But what I find is that people get overwhelmed very quickly. And the reason for that is they decide that they're going to go on 2, 3, 4 different social media platforms right from the beginning. But that takes a lot of work because you have to have posts ready for all of those platforms. I also wouldn't recommend just posting the same thing across all the platforms all at once. You want to make it a little bit different. And that takes a lot of work because you also need to be consistent with all of this. So my recommendation is to choose one platform. Which platform would your kind of ideal audience, the people that you're trying to target for your business, where would they be residing? Which social media platform? Then choose that platform and kind of go all in on that platform. Make sure that you are being consistent on that platform, that you're getting it to work for you. And once you have that set up and you have that system running and you know what you're doing on that platform, then potentially move to a second platform as well and do the same thing on that. But don't try and do all of it at once because you're just going to get overwhelmed. You've got to run your own business as well. You don't need to do all that social media in addition to that, especially if you've got a website where you want to post blog posts and things like that on there as well. And that's a great way to showcase what it is that you do, that you are an expert in that field. So if you have to start creating all of this content, it can become very overwhelming. So just choose which ones that you think will be beneficial to you, and then just use those. And when you're first starting out, keep it as small as possible. You don't want to get overwhelmed with all of this because that's when you're going to give up. And we don't want you to give up. We want you to push through and make a success of your online business. And that's where kind of creating that content comes into it as well, because you do need to have some kind of content strategy on how you want to get your content out there. So it will be potentially creating blog posts, maybe videos, maybe audio, whichever one you find you can do on a consistent basis, go with that. Because if it's something that you don't like doing, like for instance myself, I'm not a writer. So at the moment my blog on my websites is very sparse. That is going to change, but I can't just sit in front of a screen and just write an 800-word blog post straight out of the gate, and it's just not me. I can talk on video quite happily, and that's the platform that I've chosen. But what I can now do is I get all my videos transcribed, especially using the membership software that I use. All those videos are transcribed automatically, and I can use that as a basis for my blog posts. And that's what I'm going to be doing going forward, is using those transcripts to put on my website, edited and structured correctly with the video, so that I have that content on my website as well. So look at different ways to help you to be more consistent when you are creating your content. Now, I think that's everything that I would suggest you need when you're starting online. You don't want to be overwhelmed with everything, otherwise it just becomes too much and you just don't get anything done. So just to kind of recap all of this, what it is that you need when you're starting your online business, you need a domain name, so that you can build your online hub, as it were. Have your website and all of that in the middle of that, and then direct everything from social media and all of that to your website. But before you can do all of that, you need a domain name. So choose a domain name that best suits what you're trying to do online. If it's just going to be you in the business and you just want to be the brand, then choose your name. But if it's going to be a business that you might want to look to sell in the future, then maybe you need to have a business name and a business domain. So research that, see what is available, and then use something like Namecheap to get that. The second thing is you're going to need an email service. And what I mean by the email service is the service that you're going to use to send your everyday emails. And the two that I recommend is either Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace. They're very similar systems. The one that I prefer the most is probably the Google Workspace. And you can then use that to create your business email, have your calendars, and all of that in one place. And with either system, you also get storage. So you can now all of a sudden start having proper document storage for your business as well. Third thing, having some kind of website or landing page where people can find more information about you, contact you, but also to start creating your lead generation system so that you can give away something for free that people will find valuable. Now, you can build your email list using a report, video, audio, whichever you think is going to be more beneficial to your target audience. Get that created because building your email list is going to be the most important thing that you can do when you're starting an online business. And going on from that, the fourth thing that you're going to need is a CRM or autoresponder system so that you can start building that email list. You can also then, when you're in contact with people, you can put notes against them so that you can keep track of where they might be in the journey with you. And the system that I recommend for that is ActiveCampaign. And if you're a service-based business and you need to be able to book calls and get people to book in calls with you, maybe even having a discovery call, then having a system like Calendly, which is a calendar booking system, is going to be vital to your business. And Calendly is the one that I recommend for that. And then lastly, if you are going to use social media, just choose one platform at a time and make sure that that's working for you before you start jumping onto all these others. You don't want to get overwhelmed when you're starting your online business. And then lastly, when you have all of that in place, is to create some kind of content calendar so that you know what type of content that you want to create. Content is going to be one of the ways that you're going to build your business online, to showcase what it is that you do, and it makes people more at ease because they can see that you know what you're talking about. So I hope going through these kind of tips and these little requirements that I think you're going to need when you're starting your online business will help you to get your business started online. And if it is something that you are struggling with and you need some more support, then please join my free membership at jasonkruger.com/free, where I put all my YouTube videos that I create goes into this platform, as well as my podcast and other content that doesn't appear anywhere else. The exclusive content all goes into this free membership site, so that I can help you as much as I can to get your business online. This platform is different to just a normal membership site because you can actually search within the videos. As I said before, all my videos are automatically transcribed within the software, which means that if there is a topic that you need help with, instead of trying to find the video like on YouTube and then finding the right place within that video to find that information, you can just search for that term, and Searchy will come up with the video, but also take you to that exact place in the video, so that you don't have to scrub through, hours of footage to try and find the information you are looking for. So if that is something that interests you, then please go to jasonkruger.com/free to sign up for that. So I hope that the content today has been useful for you, and that you will now be able to go online with more confidence, knowing what it is that you're going to need to move forward. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.